Hey guys, welcome back to Rudder Innovation, where today we're going to be swapping out a rear hub bearing assembly on this Toyota Highlander. Here we go.
Start by breaking the lug nuts loose with your tire on the ground, then you can raise the wheel, finish unscrewing the nuts, and remove the tire.
All right, so here we have our rotor, we have our brake caliper, and the caliper bracket. We need to remove the caliper bracket in order to take this rotor off. That way we'll have access to the hub behind it. And to do that, there is a 17mm bolt here, and there's another one right down there that we'll remove to take this bracket off, and then we can take this rotor off.
I did use a breaker bar to loosen the caliper bracket bolts and then finish removing them by hand.
All right, so if you take the caliper and you pull back towards yourself, it'll compress the piston a little bit, that'll allowing you to slide it off of your rotor. And you can see I removed the bolt here and then the other one down below so that I can remove it. And you can either have a string or a zip tie to where you can hang this up somewhere.
The rotor was stuck on the surface of the hub, so I hammered a 2x4 against the back of the disc to break it free. There are 4 bolts that are 17mm that attach the hub and the rest of this assembly to the car. You'll insert your ratchet through the hole in the hub in order to gain access to the 4 bolts, and once you've removed them, the hub assembly will be free.
All right, I've removed 3 of the 4 bolts that hold the bearing in, and this entire housing is all installed using those 4 bolts to hold everything together. So as you take out the last bolt, you'll see that there is a little sensor down here, right here on this clip that needs to be unclipped and unplugged, and then you'll have to remove the bearing from the rest of the housing. And you can see here's the new bearing here. And this metal part right here is what's sitting in the housing, and we're probably going to have to break that loose on the old one. So here's the connection that was on the back of the wheel bearing. I just took a flathead right in between this bottom and that top clip, and I just pulled it up over the lip, and you can see on the new one there's a little nick right there in the middle, and that is what I lifted it up over and slid it off.
The hub assembly had a little rust, so I tapped the back of it with my mallet to get it free.
I'm gonna clean this up with some brake cleaner. All right, now we'll take our new hub bearing assembly, slip it through here, and then connect the sensor back, and then we'll hand tighten these 4 bolts, and then we'll get them tightened up. The torque specs that I found for the hub bearing assembly on the rear are 59 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm gonna do this in a cross pattern, going from the top left to bottom right, bottom left to top right.
After getting the hub assembly installed, you can put the rotor back on and slide your caliper and caliper bracket over the rotor. I hand tighten the caliper bracket bolts and then tighten them down to 76 foot-pounds of torque. After that, I reinstalled the tire and tightened the lug nuts down to 80 foot-pounds of torque. Once the tire is installed, you can lower your vehicle and you're done.
All right, guys, I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you like this video, like it. And if you're watching on a medium, you can subscribe. Feel free to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace and God bless.